Hello, it's me, the Avatar Fanatic, and today we will be talking about the Bloodbrothers. I'm here with my boy X from Everything Avatar,
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
and yeah, today we'll be talking about the Bloodbrothers, aka Tlok slash Amon and Tarrlok. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell down below to know when I upload more content. Comment some video suggestions if you guys would like to. And yes, let's get on to the video. So, let's start with both of their childhoods. I think their childhoods have a lot of aspects in them that cause them to be the way that they are when they grow up. Things such as Tlok being favorite of his father and Tarrlok mostly being mistreated by Yakone, and what Yakone's kind of resentment towards Aang and the Avatar at the time was causing suffering upon his children psychologically.
Saying Tarlok and Noatak had a traumatic childhood is an understatement. There was a lot of brainwashing, manipulation, and Yakone essentially forced his children to make up for his failures in life. He drilling into their head their entire lives that your purpose is to do what I failed to do. Your purpose is to conquer Republic City.
Is to like destroy the Avatar and everything that he has. Yeah, it just seems like it's a guy with full of resentment and full of anguish at the fact that his life was a failure. And then he forced his sons to bend things that they didn't want to, things like wolves, things like other animals that across the series that they show in those couple of clips from that one specific episode.
And eventually, Yakone makes his children bloodbend each other,
Yeah,
and then they refuse, and you see Noatak turn on his father Yakone and actually bloodbend him. Realizing that we don't have to fear this man anymore because he's powerless. He doesn't have his bending anymore.
yeah, and the thing that's consistent throughout their childhoods is Amon or Noatak at this point seems to always defend Tarrlok, and he seems to always want him to have certain amount of courage towards his father, and it seems like his mother at least was present but was kind of distant in their lives because his father would like single his kids out like almost psychotically and cause them to kind of fall into this evil headspace. So,
Take them on supposed hunting trips when in reality he would,
because
train them
keep in
relentlessly at
mind, he
being
changed his own
bloodbenders.
face. You could tell his wife probably didn't even know who Yukon really was. Like, Yukon changed his face through surgery and like became a whole different person and singled his kids out. It was almost like psychotic behavior in a way, and it was really devious from his like it was like a devious plot, as they say.
Yeah, he would take them on supposed hunting trips where he would just relentlessly train them to be, prodigy bloodbenders, making them bloodbend animals, making them bloodbend each other, and
Yeah.
being abusive. I don't know if he was ever physically abusive, but it was a
Well,
very
he
it was it
was.
was a very psychologically
Well,
abusive
he
relationship.
was. He was. But of course he was. Like maybe not physically, but definitely emotionally. Like that's what kind of caused a lot of issues for Tarrlok. He became really angry when he was older, really irritable at everything around him. When
Yeah,
someone would insult him, like for example, Korra would insult him, he just like his eyes in that one scene just explode like with anger,
you
and
could
so
you could
he just
especially see that
attacks
he
her.
you could especially see that he hates being compared to his brother because his father used to always do that to him as a child.
Yeah, and you also see with Amon, he goes on this. He always had this like vision of equalism. That's why he would defend his brother, but that's also why he took his own brother's bending away. It's really strange how he did that because he was always protective of him, but it seemed like he thought the best protection of his brother was to take away his bending because everyone would be the same afterward. So that's an interesting point to point out of like their father causing so many issues that their minds kind of become twisted to their father's advantage in a way. So yeah,
And it's really poetic in a way how even though Amon turns against his father and goes on to do what he does, he essentially does exactly what his father always wanted him to do, even though he turned against him, and that wasn't his goal. It still had the same result. He still conquered Republic City. He still, defeated the Avatar.
Yeah. I would say it also, notice how Tarrlok was so very delicate when he was younger. Like, you know, maybe that's because he was in fear of his father and that he learned how to cope with less intimidating beings around him. But you see in his councilman days where he becomes really, really corrupt. He does like a lot of bad things. He gives like these plans and he has these plans, and then when Korra confronts him on it, he becomes angry. Like it just shows like how in that amount of time, like he changed to become more ruthless and more devious with what he's trying to do. Um, he also imprisons Korra. He doesn't physically hurt Korra in any other way other than their battle, which is also an interesting thing to point out because um, Korra also got let go at the first time of asking from Amon. He was like, "It's not time for this battle. We'll do it later or whatever."
Yeah. And also Tarlok's character had a huge turnaround in personality, going from that soft, kind, caring kid to, this merciless, intimidating presence that he was. Especially you can see the person he became in that fight against Avatar Korra.
Yeah, you see, like in the way that he bends, it's different than Amon's way of bending. Like he somehow, by some way, like finds a way to like unleash a barrage of like shrapnel of just water at Korra, and somehow Korra blocks most of them. But you see how one of them hits her fist, and it like doesn't even leave a mark, but like it hurts bad, which is really interesting. It's not typical of something a waterbender would do. A waterbender usually in throughout the Avatar series is just bend water or ice at people and just try and destroy them. They don't really go with these like it bit part attacks that like cause cumulative damage. So compared to someone like Amon who psychic bends, who bends through his brother's blood bending at him, probably blood bends him back, probably blood bends himself. We have a video on this on my channel. It'll be linked above. Uh, it's very interesting how their bending styles are different, but they have a lot of the same tendencies when they get older, even though it seemed like Noah Talk was more vicious to begin with.
Yeah, Tarlok's bending style definitely isn't typical of most waterbenders. While most waterbenders are really fluid with their motions, redirecting attacks, Tarlok feels a lot more aggressive, almost boxer-like in the way he fights.
I would say it's kind of akin to somebody like you would see Boomy in Earthbending, because it's
Yeah.
big movements. Even though it's less gigantic attacks, Boomy's movements are like to the ground, and it's like Tarlok is kind of similar. He has like this wide leg stance that he uses against Korra, especially when he bloodbends her. And it just shows like how his waterbending style is different to Amon's when they were trained by the same teacher, which was their father.
Yeah, and Amon is very unique in the fact that he's actually a psychic bender in the same way that his father was. His father was Yakon, and his father proved he was a psychic bender in the courtroom where he was being held on trial, being accused of being a bloodbender, and he he bloodbend everybody without any arm movements, any sort of movements at all. He bloodbent everybody in the entire courtroom and put them all to sleep.
Yeah, and he's also way more mobile than Tarlok is, at least off of memory. He does flips mid-battle. He's like Zahir in mobility, he's just a little bit more close quarters with it. I would venture off to the point of when they do get back together. When Amon tries to flee with Tarlok, Tarlok basically uses the electric hand and just kills them both. It was different. It was almost like he rescued Tarlok. Amon rescued Tarlok out of love, but then Tarlok killed Amon out of love. but it was like a different sort of way of doing it. Like
Yeah, I think Tarrlok in a way was trying to protect the world
it was like
from what his
the
father created.
I think Tarlok killed himself and Amon, ironically to protect Amon, when his whole life Amon was protecting Tarlok.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think when Amon died in that moment, that was his first moment of happiness since he was children, since before they discovered that they
And
were
I honestly
waterbenders.
think Tarlok was happy as well. He was like back to the good old days.
Being reunited
Yeah.
with his brother. That they haven't been able to feel that way since before they discovered they were benders, and Yukon put them on this mission to become bloodbending prodigies. And I think it's a really beautiful and poetic and tragic story.
Yeah, it all stems from this this whole ending comes from the equalism plot in the show, and it's like Amon's vision does slowly change a little bit, where his initial goal is equalism, and it still is at the end, but it's more like uh just a hatred of all benders. That it's not like it becomes more so a hatred of all benders and what his father's done rather than just pure plain equalism, I think.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that Amon 100% believed in his cause. He truly believed that bending did far more harm than it did good.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew that he was wrong. I think he had misguided beliefs, a misguided ideology.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I think that's the life of the Blood Brothers, Amon and Tarrlok, and their lives were very poetic, very well done, very good plot across season one of or book one of the show.
I'd go as far as to say that this plot and this character arc was one of, if not the best character arc in the entire show of Legend of Korra.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, and I think that's a good place to leave off this video. I think we talked a lot about what the Blood Brothers did, who they were as people, what their father made them into, and how at the end of their lives they both broke away from that and accepted the suicide, basically.
Yeah, and although neither one of them may have been great people, they definitely did love each other, if no one else.
Yeah. Overall, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell if you want to see me upload more content out here with my boy X from Everything Avatar.
Make sure to check out my channel. Thank y'all for watching.
And peace.
Peace.